Noon. It's a couple minutes after the hour. I'm Di Rice with the very latest in live local news here on KCAA 1050 AM. A more than 2-year political corruption investigation in Moreno Valley has ended. Since April of 2013, federal and local investigators raided the homes of 4 city council members and the offices of a local developer and real estate broker surrounding the World Logistics Center, a massive warehouse project proposed in the city's eastern end. Due in part to the investigation, Moreno Valley politics have continued to grow more divisive and the city's reputation has suffered. Former Councilman Marcelo Coe is the only figure to face charges as part of the investigation. He pleaded guilty in November of 2013 to taking a $2.36 million bribe from an undercover FBI agent. Coe has been sentenced to 5 years in prison. And as drought conditions continue to increase fire danger in the region, CAL FIRE has suspended all burn permits for outdoor open residential burning within the state responsibility area of Riverside County. The suspension took effect this month, and it bans all residential outdoor burning of landscape debris, including branches and leaves. CAL FIRE is asking residents to ensure that they are prepared for wildfires, including maintaining a minimum of 100 feet of defensible space around every home. Inland Empire weather, tomorrow's digits about 10 degrees cooler, highs around 88, overnight lows 59. Gonna be a warm one still. Chance of showers also tomorrow. Currently, we're at about 99 here in San Bernardino. That is the latest with local news on KCAA 1050 AM. This report has been brought to you by the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway. Looking for a unique way to tell your dad you love him? Take him to the top at the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway for a special Father's Day he won't forget. Visit p-strammy.com for more information.
Fridays just got fabulous. Don't forget to reserve a seat in the Happy Hour Lounge with Ben and Alexander every Friday at 6 p.m. on KCAA 1050 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Chab Dog here. You have tuned into one of the best shows on the air for all of your up-to-date sports coverage and news. You haven't laughed so hard and been informed so much until you've heard it from the mouth of the sports expert himself, El Chab Dog.
Welcome to another edition of Chab Dog Sports Talk. This is your host, Chab Dog. We're brought to you by the law office of Brandon S. Chabner, serving Southern California's transactional legal needs, and also by Chab Dog Sports Blog, where you'll find headier sports headlines. We've got a great show for you today. We're broadcasting live from San Bernardino, the heart of the Inland Empire, not to be confused with the evil empire in New York. And we're on AM 1050 via podcast and via Ustream, so check that out on the KCAA website. And you can call in toll free at 1-888-909-1050 if you want to get in on some of the discussion. We'll see what we can do to mix the callers in. So like I said, we got a great show for you today. Ray LaBeouf from Basketball Intelligence, the creator of that great blog for all the NBA-related news you want and need. We also have Richard Simmel, chiropractor to the stars, to particularly the golf stars, and we're going to be talking to him in the second part of our show about what he does. And we'll finish up with Tom Lohr, who's got a really fascinating blog that he runs relating to his sampling of hot dogs throughout America's ballparks. And I'm welcoming him back to get an update on his progress. Just before we get to Ray LaBeouf, real quick, congratulations to Wawrinka, who won the men's singles in the French Open. That was a fabulous match. Really glad to see somebody that hits the ball hard and doesn't want to stay out on the court too long finally gets it done. And if he can just get his shorts changed, he'll be ready to go. Serena Williams won. That's no surprise. Her 20th Grand Slam title. She's catching up to everybody ahead of her and in her own world. And very impressive with her win. The Triple Crown was won by American Pharoah. I'm sure a lot of people probably, I don't know how many people won money on that. I think it was kind of a foregone conclusion, judging from the odds in that race. In baseball, not much to tell you. It's a lot of mediocrity out there, except for the Cardinals, who have a hegemony in the National League. In the American League, it really is hard for anybody to distinguish themselves. The Yankees are doing better than people thought, as are the Astros. And in hockey, we have the best, I think one of the best Stanley Cups we've ever had, or in recent memory, not forever, but in recent memory. It's really competitive. I think this is going 7. The Lightning showed that they're not just going to give in and knuckle under, and I think you can expect at least 2 more wins out of them, though it's hard to see them being the Blackhawks. So with that said, we're going to go right to our first guest, Ray Labov from Basketball Intelligence. You there, Ray?
I'm here.
Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
I'm glad you made it back from your trip up north. You were at both games 1 and 2, correct?
That's right.
Yeah. Oh man, that had to be a really electric atmosphere up there.
Oracle is a very exciting place to watch a Warriors game. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, did you have any sense that at what point did it dawn on you that something different might be happening in Game 2 compared with Game 1?
Well, when it was 20-20 after the first quarter, I think that was kind of a sign that it was kind of a different game.
Yeah. It was one of the weirdest games I've ever watched, just because on one hand it was so close and so exciting, but on the other hand it was so darn ugly. Yeah.
It was kind of excruciating in a way. I mean, it wasn't the third quarter like 13-12 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think it's one of those. Usually, it's a cliche, and it doesn't necessarily fit. Although people try to force it to fit, but in this game, I think that the fact that Cleveland was able to impose its will and its style on the game had a large part in determining that the game was going to be ugly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean they slowed it down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Golden State they were trying to run, but
they were using most of the clock for one thing. The
Cleveland,
and number 2, their offensive rebounding is so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that, in combination, in addition to the good defense that they played, that those factors really tend to slow the game down.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, the Warriors have been winning with the quick 3-point shots, the long bombs all season, and it looks great. And you think that's the way they should be playing, and then they play a game like this, and every time Curry started shooting those threes, I started to cringe.
Yeah, but remember the Memphis series, the 2 games they lost, Curry was 4 for 21. It was 5 for 23 last night, and then they came back and won the next 3.
Yeah, so obviously, if you're a Golden State Warriors fan, you shouldn't panic. But
oh no,
I just thought maybe the coach should have tried a different strategy, because they were getting penetration. Didn't you think they could get their guards were able to get into the lane when they wanted to?
I think that you're talking about the Warriors.
Yeah.
They, I think this is really evolving into a chess match, kind of like you're hinting at, and. Kerr did go small more in this game than in Game 1, maybe not enough, and maybe didn't try enough things to try to free Curry up for shots with more space, although he was getting pretty good space on the shots. They just weren't going in. Not to diminish or not to demean the Dellavedova defense, because he certainly played very good defense, and maybe more green pin downs to free up Clay, even more than he was this game, might be in order.
Yeah. There were some people that didn't even play off of the Warriors bench, and I'm fascinated that they don't think David Lee can do anything. I mean, he didn't get in at all, and they didn't play Azili, and he played a little bit. But they just
did play a little, yeah.
They didn't really try to go as big as I think they were getting killed on the boards.
They really were, yeah. And I guess that's kind of the dilemma at this point, is do they try to kind of equalize or come closer to equalizing what's going on the boards, or do they go to that more successful small lineup, which in fact might force Cleveland's hand. and might diminish the rebounding edge that way. It's going to be that kind of chess game, I think.
Yeah, but is it really you have to do all of one and none of the other, or do you kind of?
Well, Kerr's been good at mixing and matching, I think. I'm not talking about this series, but since all year and in the playoffs up till now.
Yeah. It's hard to criticize him, but I just thought last night I didn't see a heck of a lot of adjustments on offense. The defense was obviously great, but it was also partly, I think, because Cleveland was just inept in their shooting. I mean, they shot 32%, I think.
Yeah, and some nice assists for the Warriors from J.R. Smith late in the game to help with that 11-point comeback near the end.
J.R. Smith. I love him, man. I call him the flea brain because my son noticed this. If you look at the side of his head, it looks like he had a bunch of flea bites on there.
Remember?
And JR, I'm just kidding. Don't come over here and slug me, okay?
Remember when Chick Hearn was doing the Laker games? He would describe players like that as shoot you in or shoot you out.
Yeah. You know it's going to be dramatic in one direction or the other.
Right.
And I think this is going to be a pretty good series. So and we're going to talk about that more when we come back from break. But it reminds me of a few of these. Sometimes these small market teams get in, and you think it's not going to be very, a lot of publicity, and networks are disappointed. But actually, like if you think about the Washington Bullets versus the Seattle Supersonics, or the Portland Trailblazers against Philadelphia, I mean, those were great series in terms of all the shifts and momentum.
And this certainly has that potential. I agree.
Yeah. So, are you gonna go to Cleveland for that?
I wish I could. No, I'm stuck here on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Where it happens to be 106 in Sacramento today, and my air conditioning's on the blink.
106?
Something like that. It's over 100.
Oh, my God. Well, I'm here in the heart of the Inland Empire. I don't know if you heard the introduction, but this is like being in this is a really hot place.
Yeah. My brother lives half-time in Palm Desert, so I'm quite familiar.
So your prediction was...
I picked the Warriors in 6, and I'm sticking with it.
You're sticking with it. I feel pretty
Well, first
good.
of all, I don't believe in changing your prediction as the series goes on, and I think that's tacky. But I still think that's what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, you're my guest, so you can do anything you want, right?
Well, I think that, their margin for error is much greater. Look at what happened here. You had Curry what was he, 5 for 23?
5 for 23, I think.
And James playing, not shooting well, but playing a fantastic game.
And he shot.
And how much better can he play than that?
But he shot 11 for 35.
Yeah, he didn't shoot well, but he certainly played well. Played very, very well. And how much better can the Cavs play, and how much worse can the Warriors play? I think the margin for error is much less for the Cavs, and it's likely, therefore, that... First of all, I think the Warriors have a better team. They're deeper. Kerr, I think, is a fantastic coach. Not to demean Vlad, I think he's a very good coach. And they've got a system that, now we'll see whether how they can adjust to deal with it. But playing as badly as they did, and with LeBron playing as well as he did, and nobody else really to turn to on that team, compared to the balance and the depth of the Warriors, I just think that... Yeah,
but you're forgetting about the 7'2" Mozgov.
Mozgov played really well, but he didn't play down the stretch.
Yeah, and that was weird.
That's when they made their comeback.
What was going on? Why wasn't he involved? Because he did such a great job for the first 2.5 quarters.
I'm only thinking, and I don't know this, I'm only thinking it's because trying to match up better with, when the Warriors went small. But I don't know that for sure.
It's just a little bizarre because things were working. If he could,
he hasn't played big minutes all year though, so maybe that was part of it as well.
Yeah, they didn't want to risk an injury to him by overusing him.
And maybe he's not in the condition to play that many more minutes.
Yeah. Well, he certainly knows how to travel. and get away with it,
Yeah, that's true. I noticed there were about 4 or 5 there down in the low post where, how the heck did he get to the basket from there without dribbling
It's
the ball?
called the Mozgov Shuffle.
Uh-huh.
And the announcers were giving him a lot of breaks, too. They were saying stuff like, well, it was such a pretty move. I don't, for him, he's 7'2". I don't see how we can really call that.
That doesn't make any sense. A travel's a travel.
Exactly. There aren't different rules to the playoffs.
There are different rules to the playoffs, and there shouldn't be, and I don't think there really are, even though some people think there are. There shouldn't be different rules for different players.
There's just different stakes involved, and people are paying attention more.
Right. A foul's a foul. A violation's a violation.
Yeah. So I don't, I just think, look at the margin for error in this game. They shot 32% and they still won. And when you're on the road, let's face it, it's harder for those fringe players. Just in general, it's harder to make out. I think for a team that survives an outside shooting, you can lose your confidence, and it can be a nightmare if you don't have easy shots to hit.
But it's hard to think, having watched Curry all year, that even when he has a disastrous game like that he's going to lose confidence.
Yeah, I did think he he must have had a little bit of a hesitation there. I mean, he at the end he did a great job scoring that basket to take it in overtime, and that's I would have done more of that if I was him.
Yeah.
Just because it was there. So I don't know. I'm curious to see if we're gonna see much in the way of adjustments for the next game, but I'm sticking by my prediction too, 7 games, and I don't know. You didn't sense a lot of fear in the fans' eyes last night?
It was interesting. At the end of Game 1, when we were all filing out, the place was going crazy. People were chanting, "Warriors, Warriors," at the top of their lungs over and over and over and over again. And yesterday, after the game, as we were filing out, you could hear a pin drop.
Right. Yeah, I think they were kind of shocked.
They were definitely shocked, especially I think after that great comeback, then to lose it.
Yeah, I mean they've won so many of these games that they probably couldn't even believe that anything would happen but a Golden State victory. Well, anyway, we're going to go to our first commercial break, and we'll be back with you. So hang on.
Sounds good. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Highlights from year 1 of Chab Dog Radio. You can find our Chab Dog Radio blogcast at Chab Dog Sports Blog under the Blogcast tab and at Chab Dog Channel's Blog Talk Radio. Check it out and laugh. Yeah, I got that one too. What about Houston, Dallas?
I've got Houston.
You have Houston?
Yeah.
They're winning. And I had Houston.
What about Cleveland and Boston?
Oh, that's all Cleveland.
Oh, darn.
I can't believe you picked against the King.
What?
I can't believe you picked against the King. LeBron.
Who's the King?
You know the King, LeBron.
I have no clue who that is, Chab Dog. Enlighten me. Enlighten me.
What about Portland?
Is that some kind of LeBron? What is that? Is that an electric razor?
Well, he's only the most celebrated, well-known basketball player of all time, or at least in recent times. He's the guy on the Monopoly commercial.
I thought it was Wilt Chamberlain.
LeBron, now, Stephanie, you're just playing stupid here. I know you are.
No, I'm not.
Anybody that could have gotten all those NCAA games right knows everything. LeBron James.
I know more about college basketball than this rigged crap. Which we all know is rigged.
We're back at Chab Dog Sports Talk, and that was just a clip from Chab Dog Radio's blogcast, and we do NBA games, NFL games, tennis matches, commentating, and we have guests on, and you should check it out. Go to the chabdogs.com website under blogcasts, and you can find all of our blogcasts for the last year. It's also at the Chab Dogs channel on Blog Talk Radio. So we're back here with Ray LeBove at Basketball Intelligence website. So Ray, are you finding that you sense a lot of activity on your site now? It must be kind of peaking out with.
All of a sudden it has boosted significantly in the last week or so. I'm not quite sure what to attribute that to. It kind of goes in waves. What I've noticed is that there are waves of different sort of subgroups of people that come on, I guess, as word gets out in their circle. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the casual fan or whether it's the fantasy players or whether it's the people who set the lines or whether it's executives from the NBA teams or owners of the NBA teams. When you see one or two of any particular subgroup, if you sit and watch for the next few days, it's people from that same subgroup that come on. And so that's what's been happening lately. More and more of those groups of people have, I guess, been telling each other about it, and you see a spike every few days. And it's, if you look and see who's subscribing, they all seem to be from one particular subgroup at a time.
Mm-hmm. Do they subscribe to I forgot, do you have a newsletter or something? I have a
daily email, and you subscribe to that. It's free, of course, and you just go to basketballintelligence.net, and there'll be a little place there where it says subscribe, and you just enter your email address, and that gets you to the point where you will get an email every morning with that day's blog.
Oh. So am I subscribed by email or not? I don't know if I am. I get all the Facebook notifications.
You don't get the email notification?
I probably didn't do the email. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I missed.
That's even easier. I mean, that way you're sure never to miss it, because on Facebook it's possible to miss it.
But like if somebody's out there on Facebook and is looking at your website, are you going to know who they are?
Yes and no. It depends. If they're self-selecting, looking at it, no. But I have various groups on Facebook, and if they're a member of one of those groups, then I know. There's, for example, the title of our daily blog is typically today's best NBA reporting and analysis. So we actually started a group called Today's Top NBA Stories, and we post the daily blog there. Yeah. So anybody who's a member of that group,
I'm in that group. I know. I'm in that group.
So you would see it, I think, unless you turned off the notification. If somebody turned off the notification, then they wouldn't get it. But if they didn't, and they're a member of that group, all they have to do is sign up for that group, and they'll see it every day on their Facebook. And there's close to 2,500 members of that group now.
Oh, good. Well, my blog has a newsletter, so everyone that looks, if you look at Chab Dog Sports Blog, definitely sign up for the newsletter, which comes out once a quarter, and that way we can stay in touch better. And I want to know my audience just as much as you, Ray, and
right.
I will sign up for your service definitely. Are you looking forward to the summer routine now? I know you're going to the scout school with me, right?
I am. Yeah. And then I discovered there's another pro sports management program just a couple of days later out there that I signed up for. That.
Oh, really?
Just because it had such a good faculty. I will send you the link to it.
Yeah, send me the link, because I might be out there a little longer than I thought.
Yeah. So yes, I'm going, and both. For me, I go to the Pro Scout School. This will be my second year. I'm not there for the same reason that most people are there.
Yeah.
I'm not there looking to get into a career scouting.
Same here.
But two things, were really good about it for me. One is the opportunity to learn from people who are so knowledgeable based on their experience in all these different aspects of working in the association. And number two, the networking is fantastic. So those are the two reasons I go, not because I'm looking for a career. I can't even call it a mid-career change anymore. I'm not looking for a late career change.
No, I think we like what we're doing too much to even think about changing careers, though. We have to spend our time doing various things. And so it is what it is. And I met, for all those of you out there who want more information, this is the TPG Scout School. I'm not going to give it an extended plug yet. I want them to come on as a guest, actually, and hopefully we'll get that in the next few weeks. But Ray and I went to this. It was a great school, and for 2 days we heard from a lot of experts, people that run the scouting and personnel divisions at NBA teams, and
including
journalists.
Some general managers.
Yeah, and Ray is so lucky because he's going to the social event.
Only because I signed up early.
I don't know if I can bust my way in there, but I'm still trying.
Can I make two other observations about the series, or are we out of time?
Yeah, no. Let's get back on the series. We got some more time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one is I thought that was interesting, and we talked about chess match and stuff, that for a significant part of the game when Iguodala was in, there was kind of a mirror image from the Memphis series when Bogut, big quotes around, guarded Tony Allen. And we didn't really pay any attention to him because he could rim protect. And
Tony Allen can't shoot.
So
yeah.
Mozgov did virtually the same thing on Iguodala for a number of minutes, which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting strategy.
Iguodala's, he's not a terrible shooter.
He's a terrible free throw shooter.
Yeah.
For some reason, this year, he's shooting around 50% from the line. I think his career is 70-something.
Oh, so you're saying in terms of a hack strategy?
No, just in terms of risking giving him, deep outside shots. Mozgov was able to defend the rim kind of in the same analogous way that Bogut, didn't really go out to guard Allen, and they didn't put a player of Allen's size on him. Same thing with Mozgov and Iguodala yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of interesting. The other thing that's interesting, and I've read a number of things about this, is on the analytics side, the various lineups that the Cavs have played this year, both in terms of when Irving was out and also when Irving was on the bench during games, the lineups that they've been using with Dellavedova have been actually more successful. So much as Kyrie Irving is a far better player than Dellavedova, and not to say that that's the reason, not that they don't miss him, and not that that's the reason why, but they've had more success on the analytics side with the lineup they've been using now that doesn't include Irving than a number of the lineups that did include Irving. So perhaps the loss is not quite as significant as one might have anticipated for somebody who's as talented as he is.
Are you talking about the plus and minus rating that's in the box score?
The offensive and defensive efficiency rating.
Because there's that plus and minus rating, which I understand basically says when the player's in the game. This shows whether the team was up a certain amount of points or down a certain amount of points.
Kind of. This is the one where they measure number of points per possession on offense and number of points given up per possession on defense when using 5-man lineups. So they analyze every 5-man lineup that the team uses and they do a deduction between the offensive rating per 100 possessions minus the defensive rating per 100 possessions, and the Dellavedova lineups are all better than the Irving lineup.
Yeah, he's the excitable boy, that guy.
Right.
He likes throwing himself around and causing a lot of...
Did a great job on Curry, no doubt about it. Helped along by Curry just having an off night, but in addition, he did a really good job on him.
His plus and minus rating is what last game was plus 15. Mm-hmm. So you're right on the money with that. James Jones was plus 22, and he played.
Right.
He played 23 minutes, so that
He
wasn't...
did, yeah. But to at this point in his career to even have to play Mike Miller 6 minutes tells you something about their depth.
Yeah. That they're hurting when they have to bring him out, and I don't know. The Warriors didn't really use their bench that much in the last game. The minutes for the starters were very high.
They were higher, yeah.
I
think we're going to see a better utilization and more contributions and getting them back closer to the normal way that they play. That's my anticipation.
Yeah, well, they really have to win the next game, I think. They don't want to go down 2-1 and have that kind of pressure that they have to flip the switch in Game 4.
And they were out hustled. I think we, as simplistic as that is as a factor, if you look at offensive rebounding and loose balls and all those other sorts of things that they're now calling 50-50 balls and those sorts of things, they really were out hustled.
Yeah, and
there were situations where who's going to get this, and almost every one of them you'd look up and Cleveland got the ball.
Yeah, there was a few of those.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's going to change. I can't imagine Kerr doesn't stress that. It's like, wait, and little things too. Of course, that Spates missed dunk looms very large.
Yeah, that was kind of sick. I had a bad feeling when I saw him dribbling down ahead of everybody, but he was kind of looking at the ball. I could, he was thinking about it. God, am I really this wide open?
Right. You had a premonition, right?
And then Spates he had too much weight to get up there,
God,
I guess.
Just like, how did that happen? Right?
Not that I would want to criticize anybody that's trying to dunk the ball, but...
well, I think that time that you sliced your forehead open, that was the end of your dunking career.
Were you talking about me?
Yeah.
Did I slice my forehead open?
Wasn't that you?
On what was that from?
In high school when you went up to dunk.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's why I'm wearing this baseball cap so nobody can see me. No, I can't say I've ever gotten up that high. I'm 6'3" in white and probably vertical leap of now it's a little better since I've been going to the gym. Anyway, Ray, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll be getting back in touch with you as the summer goes on to hear about what's going on in the NBA because life still continues.
I look forward to it. Thanks so much, Brandon.
Okay. We're going into our second commercial break. We'll be right back.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.
What about Houston, Dallas?
I've got Houston.
You have Houston?
Yeah.
They're winning. And I had Houston.
What about Cleveland and Boston?
Oh, that's all Cleveland.
Oh, darn.
I can't believe you picked
Whatever.
against the King.
What?
I can't believe you picked against the King. LeBron.
Who's the King?
You know the King, LeBron.
I have no clue who that is, Chab Dog. Enlighten me. Enlighten me.
What about Portland
Is that
and Memphis?
some kind of... LeBron, what is that? Is that an electric razor?
Well, he's only the most celebrated, well-known basketball player of all time, or at least in recent times. He's the guy on the Monopoly commercial.
I thought it was Wilt Chamberlain.
LeBron, now, Stephanie, you're just playing stupid here. I know you are.
No, I'm not.
Anybody that could have gotten all those NCAA games right knows everything. LeBron James.
I know more about college basketball than this rigged crap. Which we all know is rigged.
NBA basketball.
Virtues of Houston, and you can see that it's getting out of control again. Well, it may not get out of control, but I'll tell you that Harden is just one evil. Evil. He's evil, boy. Yeah, he's always on attack mode, you know. Yeah. He's very greedy. Yeah. The problem is that I think he shoots too much.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't get.
He loves
nobody else.
He loves going to the line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, without it, they wouldn't be in the game. I'll tell you that.
No, I mean, let's face it. He's their leader, and they're entitled to have him hog the ball. But he needs to get Howard
He's like
involved.
Kobe. He's like Kobe Bryant, dude.
Yeah, but he's better than Kobe is right now.
He's way better than Kobe. Yeah.
I don't know
Now
why,
they're
but
only-
I like him better than Kobe.
Me too. I can't stand Kobe, to be honest with you, but.
NCAA men's basketball final.
Approaching halftime of the 2015 Men's National Championship. What a great event we have here.
And we're talking basketball.
Yes, we hope it's going to be a big basketball night tonight, obviously, with the National Championship going. It's 31-29 Wisconsin. Kaminsky trying to put Wisconsin up by 4, but he couldn't get it to go down. Got my colleague Renee Betts here.
What's up, y'all? I got Wisconsin. I got Wisconsin winning with 1 point.
Well, I got Wisconsin in my heart, but I am very worried about Duke. I think Duke's defense is making it very tricky. The Wisconsin guards can't seem to get enough separation.
Well, they're playing against the zone, and they don't have a good offense against the zone. Their offense is better with the zone unless you let their guys stay out there and get a perimeter shot.
Yeah. So I think Wisconsin does well when they can.
And look, they haven't even had to bring Okafor back into the game.
No. That's a big victory for Duke. Okafor has 2 fouls.
We're back, Chab Dog Sports Talk. We've got Dr. Richard Semmel on the line. Hello, Dr. Semmel.
Hi, Brandon.
Thanks for calling in. Yeah, it's great to talk to you. And
Me too.
let me quickly just let everybody know about Dr. Semmel. He is a chiropractor with over 25 years of experience working on professional, world-class, and everyday athletes. He has also been working in the chronic pain field and is currently in private practice in Hermosa Beach, California. He has extensive experience in diagnosis and treatment of soft tissue injuries. He was senior staff doctor at the Soft Tissue Center from 1991 to 1995 under Dr. Joe Horrigan and holds a diploma in sports injuries. Dr. Semmel has been a member of the PGA Tour of sports medicine's team since 2007. He participated in the U.S. Olympic Physicians Program in Colorado Springs, medical director for the AVP, which is the Volleyball Professionals League, and has been part of the medical team for Mountain Dew Action Sports. All right, I got it all out. You're extremely busy, it sounds like.
I like to be. I really enjoy working out in the field at sports venues, which isn't always easy as a chiropractor.
Yeah. Do you get so you go to how many golfing events do you go to?
I work somewhere around 6 to 10 tournaments a year. So there's about 8 of us. There's about 8 of us who work a regular 6 to 8 tournaments, and then there's a couple of guys who fill in when some of the other chiros can't work.
Yeah. So it's you're there for 4 days?
No, on a regular tour, I'm there for 6 days, and on the Champions, the senior tour, I'm there for 3 to 4 days. So I'm there Tuesday when the guys get in to start practicing, get ready for the Pro-Am. That's when we're there at that point.
Yeah, just quickly run through the first. I think everybody that's a golf fan knows what happens the 4 days that they're playing. Let's say they play for 4 days, but what happens on the other 2 days?
They play 4 days if they make the cut. Otherwise, they play 2 days.
Right, yeah.
But so usually what will happen is I work in a trailer that has 4 treatment tables. There's a chiropractor and 2 physical therapists at every tournament for both the Champions and the regular tour. And on Tuesday mornings, like some of the guys will be flying in. So how it works is it's a first come, first serve unless they're in play, and then the player takes the priority in treatment time. So they'll come in and they'll want to get stretched out, or if they have something significant going on, then we'll deal with that. There's always an orthopedist on call if we need, but that rarely ever happens. And we treat their injuries, or we treat to help them perform better. It depends on what comes in. A lot of times, as with most sports and most athletes, it's spinally related, but with any sport, then it becomes more specific. Like with golf, it's a lot of low back stuff. But it can be upper back and shoulder, and it could be hand. They could jam their thumb when they're hitting. It's a lot of different things, which I really enjoy the variety of it.
Yeah. You never know what you're going to get, what's going to walk through that door.
Exactly.
And do you get to know the players pretty well?
Sure. I mean, I'm in my 9th year doing it, so like most of the top players, you rarely see Tiger or Phil in the trailer. I've seen Phil in once, but most of the regular guys, it's a very locker room attitude. It becomes very comfortable. They know who you are. You shoot the breeze. You listen to the BS that goes around. It's a fun situation.
You're like their barber.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, and you're cracking them all the time.
That and I do a lot of soft tissue work, so it's that as well. It's really whatever. Some of the guys just want the adjustment, the crack, and some of the guys will come in and because I also have the soft tissue specialization, they'll want some of that. And sometimes, like how the tournament works is the physical therapist will alternate in the morning. Like we have to be there an hour and a half before first tee. So that can mean we have to be there at 5 in the morning. And so the physical therapist, one will be there at that time, and the other one will come in around 8 or 9. And so if the players want to be stretched and whatever they need, I'm there to do that. You know, you're there. The capacity is you're there to be part of a team and do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
You're not there to be, hey, look, I'm the number one guy. Don't you know how good I think I am? You're there to be of service.
Yeah. But you can't. You can't really watch any of the golf, can you?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of downtime during tournaments. So usually it's like you'll work for a couple hours in the morning, and then you'll have breakfast. Then it's 2-hour downtime. Oh. So you can go watch. Same thing in the afternoon. You could get a good bit of watching in. Sometimes we'll go walk the course and watch a little bit of golf. I made the mistake once of getting caught in where Tiger was playing a hole, and I won't do that again because there were so many people there, and you're just stuck in the back. And I didn't find that's not something I'd want to be doing.
Yeah. It's probably aggravating to be stuck in more traffic after living in L.A.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So usually you go and we'll sit at a hole or we'll stand at a hole and watch a couple of rounds, or we'll go follow a golfer who isn't quite as popular as Tiger, now it's probably other than Tiger, but he still gets a lot of play.
Yeah, there's still that curiosity factor with him.
Absolutely.
But, it is starting to wane a little bit. I mean, the guy shot an 85 is one of his last rounds.
Yes, doesn't get much uglier than that.
I would be happy with an 85. But
yes,
I wouldn't be ecstatic, but it's pretty. Anyway, what's your favorite course to go and do this at, or favorite place to go?
Well, I worked. There's I can't remember the name of it, but up in Reno, there's they have a tournament up in Reno, and it is the most beautiful course. Now, it's funny you mention that because what I've said to other people when I work is golf courses are beautiful places to be. They are each has its own appeal and beauty. I worked last year. I worked a tournament up out in Arizona, up in the desert, up high, and I'm not a big desert person, but I found it to be really, really beautiful. First time I'm going to be working a Champions tournament up in Pebble. I'm finally going to get to work a Pebble Beach tournament in October, which I'm really looking forward to seeing that course.
Yeah, it's great. You're in the rotation, man. You got.
Yeah, well, look, I'm sure you know how it goes. I've worked hard to get where I am, and you also have to have some ability. Otherwise, you become a one-hit wonder. And unless you're willing to play well with others, same thing. It's like, you have to go in with the right kind of attitude.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. And you have to really be service-oriented and enhance what, the value of the tournament.
All of that, and you also have to get the ego out of the way, because everybody out there, the players as well as all the other health professionals, are pretty at the top of their game, and so you're just there to be part of a team. Yeah. You're there to kind of just support.
Well, just to get this full disclosure out here, I work in the same office suite as Dr. Semmel, and he is a very nice guy, very good person to work next to, and so I'm sure that people like being around you.
I appreciate that, Brandon.
And
I like to think that, but yeah. I try to get out of the way of all of that. Sometimes I'm successful. You know how it goes.
So tell me, what is Mountain Dew Action Sports?
Mountain Dew Action Sports. So if you have to be an action sports fan, but basically they have they'll have a vert ramp, which is where sometimes the bikes will go up, but usually it's the skateboarders. It's that big, like, horseshoe where they go up and they do flips and they do that, and there's a street ramp where they're doing jumps and
like the X Games,
and sometimes there's a BMX jump. It's that kind of stuff. They used to, back in the day when it first started, they used to call it extreme sports.
Yeah.
And I think in about 2000, a little after 2000 or so, they started calling it action sports.
Yeah, extreme was a little scary.
It's where you're really putting your body on the line.
Yeah. Well, these
guys are doing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we've really enjoyed having you on the line, and we're gonna be talking to you more in the future. We're gonna have to go to another break now, but I really thank you for calling in.
And really appreciate the opportunity.
Check out Dr. Semmel's practice in Hermosa Beach,
Thanks
California.
A lot, Brandon.
Okay. Bye-bye. Well, we'll be right back, taking our last commercial break. Back with Tom Lohr. The law office of Brandon S. Chabner, serving clients in Southern California with transactional legal services since 2007. We handle general, corporate, outside counsel type work, drafting and negotiating a wide variety of business and commercial contracts, including non-disclosure agreements, independent contractor agreements, and employment agreements. Our experience includes working with public and private companies and involves a broad range of industries, including healthcare, consumer products, real estate, and high technology. Mr. Chabner has over 20 years of legal experience, having worked for some larger national firms and serving as general counsel for a multi-million-dollar private company here in Southern California before starting his own legal practice. His educational credentials include a law degree from UCLA, where he was on law review, undergraduate degree at Yale, where he graduated magna cum laude, and an MBA from Harvard Business School. Other areas of focus for Chabner Law include press release and business plan editing, pre-litigation matters, and debt and mortgage resolution work. You can contact us at 310-698-0740 and at bchabner@chabnerlaw.com. Check out my sports blog, your home for head-of-ears sports headlines. At ChabDog, we cover the world of sports, from NFL to competitive eating. At our blog, you'll also find ChabDog's own brand of uniquely original blogcasts for the major sports events. We hit home runs with our coverage. We also have a reading room where you'll find interviews running across the sporting spectrum, along with our vote questions, our ChabDog Gnostications, and of course our much-beloved ChabDog of the Month. What you can count on from ChabDog is our stretching the playing field envelope to find the humor, irony, and weird connections that are always living beneath the surface of the sporting world. Check us out at chabdog.com. We're back with our final guest of the day, Tom Lohr. Tom, hello.
Hey, Chab Dog, how are you?
Oh, Tom, I'm doing great. It's always good to talk to you. I want to hear about the world of hot dogs.
World of hot dogs is filling. That's the word today.
Yeah, tell us about it.
I just downed the Paul Konerko dog here. I'm at U.S. Cellular Field, known to real baseball fans as New Kaminsky Park.
Yes.
And I just ate this 14-inch long hot dog called the Paul Konerko dog, named after one of the former White Sox. And I couldn't finish it.
Are you serious?
I got about 80% of it down. It was just too much hot dog for me. So.
Well, I might have to throw you off the show because you couldn't eat it. I know I could have eaten that.
I'm on the rain. What's that?
I know I could have eaten that.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm going to have to challenge you to a hot dog.
I'm waiting for you here in San Bernardino. I mean, let's get it on. I want to have a tasting contest. I want to get into competitive eating. I just never had the right connections. But anyway, I'm jealous of you. You also had that crazy hot dog that crazy brat dog in Minnesota.
Oh, man, I had that 2 days ago, and that was awesome, actually. It is. You've heard of the turducken, right, which is a chicken and a duck and a turkey?
Yeah.
And this kind of reminds me of that. It's a hot dog stuffed inside of a bratwurst that's wrapped in bacon.
Oh, yummy.
And it's on a pretzel bun.
I saw the picture of that, and my mouth was watering. Did you see my comment on your blog?
I did.
Did you like that?
I did. And it's we're looking. I tell you, the thing about that is, if you didn't research it, they call it the brat dog. I'm thinking it's the brat on a bun, right? Well, it's this off-the-wall, ginormous, delicious specialty dog that they need to somehow do better PR with it. And giving it some sort of really cool moniker would be a thing. So I think they should call it something. I like you said it was the pink something. I can't remember.
I said Sink the Pink Dog.
Sink the Pink, yeah. It's I've heard the Tri-Pig and the something to do with heart attacks too, which I'm sure is not the healthiest dog in the world. But if you got to go, why not go with a dog in your hands?
So you finished that one, but you didn't finish the 14-inch one.
No, I think the difference was one. I was more hungry when I went to the Twin Stadium there, and then this one too is the taste. The taste was every bite was delicious of that brat dog on a pretzel bun up there, and this one here was okay. But it was nothing.
I got the feeling when I read your blog that when you got to the point at Target Field where you finally got to eat a hot dog, you were pretty frustrated with all of the what you had to deal with.
Yeah, I know. Plus, here's talk about diversity in baseball. It cost me $25 for a standing room only ticket to get into Target Field that day because they were sold out. And today I paid $7 to get in here at U.S. Cellular Field. I think I'm going to have the whole section to myself.
Yeah. Is Target Field that crowded? It
was sold out.
Yeah, that's right, sold out.
Mass of humanity.
Well, that's it. I mean, you're really tapping into what's going on in the in baseball in terms of what places are surging and enthusiastic and which places aren't. You're seeing all the stadiums, and Minnesota's got a good record this year.
They do, and they have an actual fantastic ballpark. It was just you couldn't see much of it because it's just people everywhere, which is good for the Twins. It's just sort of frustrating for the fans.
Yeah, it was crazy. You said that people were walking in two different directions, and potentially there was going to be a traffic block.
There was on the inside of the main concourse. They were going clockwise. On the outside of it, they're going counterclockwise. So you had these big two lines converging counter-converging lines of people walking around. I thought some sort of vortex was going to open up a hole into another dimension. I get sucked into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so since we last spoke, it was about 3 weeks ago. Any big disappointments in terms of major league parks and the food?
Not major disappointments. I didn't have a really good dog at a couple of the minor league ballparks. I was in Beloit yesterday, Wisconsin, with the Cedar Beloit Snappers, and their dog is okay at best.
The picture looked okay. The picture didn't look bad with all that nice sauerkraut, and if it's a snapper and it's Italian sausage, that sounds good.
Yeah, I think it had something to do with the quality of the sausage, and it just was not that great.
Yeah.
I almost got hit by a foul. I was doing the unthinkable, which was looking at my phone when they were playing, and I nearly got hit by a foul ball. So.
Oh yeah, you got to be on your guard at baseball parks. You heard about the woman in Fenway Park, didn't you?
I did, and then I saw a girl who was about 5 years old get smacked hard in the head at Driller Field at Tulsa Driller Stadium there at One Oak Field in Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she was going to be okay, but if that you get hit that hard at that age, you're talking concussion or something. So you really do got to pay attention. And
yeah.
I know the rules of the game, and I broke them, and I almost paid the price.
Yeah, but the odds were in your favor.
Yeah. It'd take a hard ball to penetrate this skull.
Oh no, I just meant that there's the chances of you actually getting hit by anything are pretty remote, I think.
Yeah, I've never been hit. I've close calls, but never been hit yet.
So what's on tap for the next 3 weeks? Anything that you're looking forward to?
Yes, tomorrow I'm trying the poutine dog at Tiger Field. It's the Detroit Tigers, Connecticut Park, I think they call it today.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to Cleveland. Not sure what they have to offer, but they have that Burtman's mustard, which is always good. And then back to Chicago for a Cubs game. Which I'll probably end up in Chicago. And then up to Milwaukee for the dog they call the Beast.
Yeah, that's got to be a good one up in Milwaukee.
Right? If anybody knows in Case Meat, it's the people up in Milwaukee.
And you should be running. You should be running in their race, by the way.
I should be walking instead of driving this entire trip. I tell you, last year with a regular dog, it wasn't so bad, but the specialty dog is like extremely calorie laden.
Yeah.
I'm getting worse gas mileage in my vehicle. I don't think it's because the engine's getting more out. I think maybe I'm getting bigger.
Well, take care of yourself. Get some exercise. Get your sleep. And we'll have you back on pretty soon, I think. And thanks for calling in.
Okay. Don't forget to check out my blog, ballparkdogs.blogspot.com. You can follow me around.
Okay. This is Chab Dog. Thanks, Tom. This is Chab Dog. We're going to sign off now. Thought it was a great show, and we'll be back at you next week with more great guests. Check out our Blog Talk Radio for tomorrow night. We're doing Game 3, Golden State and Cleveland. And Renee Betts will be joining me. It's going to be a hot game. Talk to you later.
See you later, Brandon.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 a.m. The station that leaves no listener behind.
I'm Tom Busby, CNBC Radio. Reports say the latest computer data breach targeted the Federal Office of Personnel Management. It handles security clearances and employee records for 4 million past and current federal workers. Worries about whether Greece may default on